So thanks for joining us today. We got Bonnie Hyslop on here, and we're gonna Bonnie. We were just talking before this call. In 2019, she can share with you, but she shifted her real estate business to caring for seniors, and we're gonna dive into that a little bit. What I want to do first, number one, Paula's gonna drop in the chat. We're gonna have a live workshop on February 27th. It's a full day workshop. It's going to be 8 to 8.5 hours of learning how to use AI to help you accelerate your business. If you guys were on the growth zone that we had, I think a couple months ago, we had Lauren Lucas on. She's a real estate agent out of Columbus, Ohio. She has scaled her business to a level that is not even imaginable using AI. And she's working less and making way more. And she's an open book to share with absolutely everybody on how to do this. And she's agreed to come to Pittsburgh. So we're going to have it at South Point. I think the lunch menu is top notch. The only thing they'll serve is like filet, salmon, and like chicken with some high end sides. So it's going to be a great lunch. We'll have coffee in the morning. You can come, you'll walk away that day knowing how to use AI. I think you'll walk away with an AI agent that will be working for you as well. So like I said, we were only going to have a room of 30. We ended up having 65 people sign up so far. So if you want a spot, get it. If you know anybody else that wants a spot, get it. And then just know that I'm probably going to have to get a bigger spot based on how many people sign up. So let me see if I can give a share here. Can you guys see the reverse mortgage slides?
Yes.
Can you see that? Okay. So what I want to do is I want to walk through an example of what a reverse mortgage looks like. So just by a show of hands or throw it in the chat, who has heard that a reverse mortgage is actually a bad thing? Pull up that chat. Because every time I presented this twice last week, and almost every hand went up in the room when he said it was a bad thing. So let's walk through what that is. So reverse mortgage, it's for homeowners that are 62 years old or older, and they can access the equity in their house without having to sell it. So you can't spend the walls of your house. So as you've paid down your mortgage, you have equity in your house. And what is equity? If you owe $20,000 on a house that's worth $100,000, that difference, that $80,000 is the equity. So there are a ton of seniors out there, and I just heard it this morning, there are $14 trillion, that's with a T, of equity for the seniors that they can't access the equity in their walls. And some of the people I've sat with are literally buying groceries on their credit cards and they're going out backwards. But if they could access that equity, it would make life living their golden years a little easier. They have their choice on how they want to get the cash, and it's tax-free dollars because it's a loan. They could either take it all in one lump sum up front. They could set up monthly, it's called tenure, monthly income for life, or they could just set up a line of credit that grows. And right now it's grown at almost 7% a year. And I'll show you what that looks like. You get to stay in the house as a homeowner and keep it on title, and you don't have a monthly mortgage payment. You can make a payment if you want to, but you don't have to. My mom, we sat with her in 2012. She's like, I don't want to go to assisted living. I don't want to go to a high rise. I want to stay in my house. She did not qualify for a reverse mortgage at that time, but me and my siblings kick in every month to make it easier for her to stay there. Fortunately, like Bonnie and I were talking, she has a ton of kids and she's got a ton of family around her that can help her, but not every senior has that. So why would you consider one? So you could get rid of your mortgage payment. You could pay off high interest credit card debt. You could work with a financial planner. I saw Brian Cartier on here. You can work with a financial planner to have and I'm going to show what that looks like too, to have a better retirement income, and you stay in your home comfortably. So this is a hypothetical. So me and Jody, right? She's 78, I'm 81. She owned the home, and we're a blended family. So say she owned a home before we got married, and that house is now worth $300,000. We have a blended family, but the home and the mortgage is in her name only. Her wish is that her daughter gets the house, and I agree. Let me ask you a question. If she dies first, who gets the house? And you could drop it in the chat or just say it out loud. Who gets the house if she dies first?
You do.
You do.
I do. And then when I die, who gets the house?
Your
Your
kids.
Ty does, my son.
Mm.
That is not what we want. And I can't tell you how many phone calls I get from people going, hey, my parents don't look like they're going to make it much longer. I need to do a refinance or I need to do a quick claim deed. I need to get on title. I'm like, is that the right answer? Or should you be sitting with an attorney to make sure this thing gets lined up correctly?
Mm-hmm.
So what we would do is we did do this. I'm not saying this is true. If Ty's watching this, Ty, this is not what we said, buddy. Protect our wishes, right? So create a trust. What does a trust do? And I'm not a trust attorney, but we have will and estate attorneys that we can refer you to. It avoids probate. And what's probate? Probate is expensive. Probate is court cost. Probate eats into what you wanted to leave your heirs. But if you create a trust, it skips probate. You leave more money and your wishes are met. It protects the family. And then we can assure that her daughter gets the house. So whatever you want, you make sure that gets done. When I'm sitting with somebody for a reverse and they're in a situation similar to this, I'm like, whether you get the reverse mortgage or not, you need to sit with an attorney to make sure that your wishes are delivered the way you want them to be. So let's just take a look at what this would look like in an actual reverse mortgage situation. Say Jody and I had a mortgage for $85,000 and we were paying, and I've seen this, 12.33% on a 15-year term. That payment would be $1,221 a month. Say we didn't have enough money at the end of the month and we're buying groceries on credit cards. So we ran our credit cards up to $27,000. Average rate on credit cards is 24.99%. Once you start down that mountain, that snowball gets to a point where you can't get out. So that minimum payment's $544 a month. That's $1,765 a month just for minimum payments. And when you run these numbers out on his $27,000, I think it takes like 13 years to pay back $61,000 in interest on that $27,000. These credit card companies make a ton of bank off of people that use it and don't pay it off every month. So step one, the reverse mortgage on a $300,000 house at that age, at 78 years old, those are the two factors. What is the home worth and what is the age of the youngest person occupying the property as a primary residence is $135,000. So we can pay off that existing mortgage, which eliminates $1,221 a month, and that creates $1,221 a month that we can apply to our debt. With reverse mortgages, they revamped them in 2017. They'll give you a 10% contingency for the first year. What they found is people were taking a whole lump sum right out of the gate, and then they were getting in bad financial situations after that. So for the first year, they'll give you a 10% contingency. So remember, we were eligible for $135,000. They gave us $13,500 for the first year. After that, we got a line of credit at $22,000 that'll grow. So let's use cash flow to finish paying off our bad debt. So the reverse mortgage, we take that $13,500, we apply it to our $27,000 in credit cards. Our monthly savings on the mortgage, we take that and apply it to the credit cards. And we'll have to tap in one payment on that line of credit of $1,135 to pay the credit cards off in full. So in 13 months, we don't have any credit card payment and we don't have a mortgage payment. So we just changed that bad debt into good debt. Now that line of credit.
Sorry, there's a question in the chat.
Yep. Is it a requirement to pay off the existing mortgage? What if someone is still Yes, Brian, you do have to pay off the first mortgage with the reverse mortgage. Yep. Because it's an FHA insured loan. Well, there are multiple reverse mortgages out there. FHA is the gold standard. The reason I would highly recommend doing an FHA loan is because it's insured by FHA. And if the market tanks and you end up owing more on what the house is worth, FHA kicks in and will pick up that difference. So you're not on the hook and neither are your heirs on the hook if you owe more on the house than what it's worth. There are proprietary reverse mortgage programs out there for 55 years old and older. And there are jumbo reverse mortgage products out there as well. You just got to be careful when you're doing it to make sure that you're doing the right thing. So that line of credit, it starts off at 20 grand. And let's just stick in the first column with the line of credit. You'll see it grow in 5 years. If I don't touch it, it's 29,000. 10 years, it's 42,000. 15 years, it's 60,000. 20 years, it's 86,000. So that line of credit, some people, if they own their house free and clear, can just set up the line of credit and let it grow like a financial tool. And the sooner you set it up, it's just like anything. Time in the market is where, the eighth wonder of the world is, like that compounding effect. The property value based on a 4% appreciation, that $300,000 home is now worth $364 in 5 years, $444 in 10 years, $540 in 15 years, $657,000 in 20 years. So when people say, well, if I get a reverse mortgage, I can't leave anything to my kids, that's not true. That last column is the equity. So when you stop occupying that property as your primary residence, your kids have 6 months to either pay off the mortgage or sell it. And if they can't do it in 6 months, they just ask for an extension. They can get another 6 months to either sell it or pay off that mortgage, and they can own it themselves. And they walk away with the equity. What life looks like now: mortgage payments are gone, credit card payments are gone, you got monthly relief, you got legal protection, and you got a growing line of credit. So I'm not saying reverse mortgages are for everybody, but it could be for the right person. And then real quick, I'm going to show you this. You can use a reverse mortgage for a purchase. I actually am talking to a person right now. He's a financial planner. And I ran this by him. He goes, "This makes complete sense, Jeff." And I'm like, right. He goes, "Why hasn't anybody ever taught me about this?" And this is Bonnie's mission. This is my mission. I am on a mission to serve our seniors and get them to understand how they can use the equity in their house and make a better financial picture so they can enjoy their golden years better. So in this example, we got somebody who's 75 years old. They want to downsize. They're going to sell their house for $600,000. They do have an existing mortgage for $100,000, and their net proceeds are $500,000, but they want to buy a new $400,000 home. First option, just take of that $500,000, take the $400,000 and buy a new house. Take that remaining $100,000, and I just said, what's the average rate of return on the stock market for the past 50 years? It was 10.7%. So I'm just doing this for illustration purposes only. And in our area, homes appreciate somewhere between 3.5% and 5%. I said, let the home appreciate at 4.1 to show you what that looks like. The second option is take out a reverse mortgage. So at that age, they would qualify for $172,000 on a reverse mortgage at age 75 for a $400,000 purchase. That's going to accrue interest at 6.625, which is today's rate in this scenario. They don't have to make a mortgage payment. So they put $228,000 down. That leaves them $272,000 to invest instead of the $100,000. And that home's still going to appreciate regardless of what you owe on it. So what does that look like? Net worth comparison. The first column is if you pay cash. So in 5 years, your net worth is $655. If you did a reverse, it's $704. That's a win of $49,000 in your favor. If you scroll down to 15 years, the net worth, you have a 1.1 or almost $1.2 million net worth. But if you did the reverse and invested that difference, that would be 1.5. So that's a $340,000 win for that senior. And that's liquid funds that they can actually use. So the reverse for purchase, these are the projections. So the home value, they bought a $400,000 house. In 5 years, it's now worth $489. In 10 years, it's worth $598. And in 15 years, it's worth $731. So that house is taking care of itself. The loan balance will increase. They started at 172. So in 5 years, it's at 237. In 10 years, it's at 327. In 15 years, it's at 450. That investment growth, they put that 272 in to begin with. After 5 years, it's 452. After 10 years, it's 752. After 15 years, it's 1.2. So what's the net worth after the 15 years? You take the home value plus their investment and subtract out that loan balance, and they're at 1.5. And so I just want to show you on a graph what that looks like. The yellow line is if they did a cash purchase, and the blue line is if they used the reverse to purchase it. And then this is how you come up with the net worth, just showing it on a graph. You have the home value plus the investment, subtract out that loan balance, and that gets you your 1.5. So the key takeaways, both options are phenomenal if anybody's in that situation, and they allow for no mortgage payment. But the reverse for purchase just keeps more money invested and compounding working in your favor. The home is going to appreciate regardless of what's owed on it. And after 15 years, it shows that a reverse purchase will have a higher net worth for you. And it's just about having flexibility and being liquid and being able to live a better life and leave more to their children. So some of the myths that I have heard is that the bank owns your home. That's not true. You stay on the title. You can owe more than what it's worth. If that does happen, the FHA insurance kicks in if you get a HECM loan, not a proprietary one, and it'll cover the difference. Nobody's on the hook. You'll lose your home if you move. That's not true. Your heirs have 6 months to either pay off the mortgage and keep the house or sell it and take the profit. And you can't leave your anything to your kids. That's not true. We just showed that by doing the right paperwork, getting the right documents in order, and the equity that's left over. So I have a handout that I'll send to you guys with the top 20 frequently asked questions. Any questions for me on that? Any other questions?
I do.
Okay.
What stipulations does an owner have to do? I mean, obviously you have to upkeep the house.
Yeah, that's great.
I
That's a
mean,
great question. So
because you got
you
older
got to do,
people in a house, and you know how that goes.
yep. So you have to have maintenance. You got to take care of the home, right? You also have to pay your taxes and pay your homeowner's insurance,
Hmm.
right? Those are the two things. So oftentimes when you hear somebody lost their home because of a reverse mortgage, it's either because they didn't pay their taxes, and it sold for a sheriff's sale. But no, you just got to maintain your homeowner's insurance and your taxes and then do your home maintenance. Yeah. And I know for seniors, it's tough. So finding a handyman is critically important that can do those things around the house for you, for sure. And I wouldn't even call me a senior, but I got a handyman showing up today at noon because I can't do those things. And my wife had a honey list of like 12 things. Yeah.
Share that number, will you please?
Listen, he's phenomenal too. Bonnie, we have somebody in the group too that you trust, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so having said,
I'm open to it. Give me let me know.
yeah, I met him probably 5 years ago, and he
Yeah.
started his own company, and he's phenomenal and trustworthy. So I'll send you that name, and I'll send you the one from our group with Bonnie too. So having said that, Bonnie, have at it. Let us know about, how did you get started with just going from general real estate into seniors and caring for seniors, and then the resources? Because I go to Bonnie's networking group she has once a month. We have anywhere from 30 to 40 people sign up. I think she has over 100 people in the group. And as we go around the room and we share like our 1 minute commercials, I'm blown away by all the resources that are out there for seniors. And I'm like, how do we get this word onto the street? So my hope and prayer for this thing that we're doing here today is that you walk away from what Bonnie shares with you and you help people that are 62 years old or older with the resources that are available for them out there. Because there's a ton of good stuff out there. So Bonnie, have at it.
And there's resources that you have never even thought of that are out there. I'm always
Yes.
amazed when I talk to people and what they do. And they're local companies. There are to this area. So I just want to start with some statistics here. The 65 plus population in Allegheny and Washington counties. In Washington County in 2025, it's 50,453, and that's 24% of the population. In Allegheny County, it's 274,959, and that's 22% of the population. If you go to 2030 in Washington County, 65 plus is 27% of the population. And in 2040, it goes to 28%, and 2050, 27% with the projections. In Allegheny County, and this surprised me, in 2030, it'll be 23%. 2040, it goes up to 28%, and then 2050 back down to 23%. So Washington County, as a percentage of the population, has a higher population of 65 plus than Allegheny County in 2040 and 2050. Shocked me.
That's crazy.
Did not
And
expect.
I know we're in an older community, but I had no idea, like, where do we stand compared to the rest of the United States?
In Pennsylvania, we are the fifth largest 65 plus population, and we are behind California, Florida, Texas, and New York.
Wow.
Who would have known? I was really shocked by that statistic there. Some vocabulary is seniors. They are 65 plus. Pre-seniors are 50 to 64. I was mortified when I learned I am a pre-senior. Solo agers, those are people who are aging, who do not have a spouse or children, and they have nobody there to fight for them. They may have friends, they may have people in their church, but a lot of people don't have anybody. The communities, we don't call them facilities. I have somebody who says that's an F word. We call them communities, and that's independent living, assisted living, personal care, and skilled nursing. Skilled nursing is also called SNF, SNF. I have a hard time saying that still. When people become disabled, we say they acquire a disability. Because a lot of people, I've learned this, do not consider themselves seniors, and they will walk right by my table that says Senior Care Connections, and they'll say, I'm not ready for that yet. And so we've started to say individuals, but we try to get people to be proactive. So as a real estate planner, Keller Williams real estate planner, whenever I sell a house to somebody who's 50 or older, I talk to them about protecting their assets and maybe talking to an elder law attorney to have everything in line that they need to do in case something happens. And we do have elder law attorneys in my group or in the group.
Yeah.
Let's see. So serving the 65 plus community is now, we want to be, once again, proactive to start helping people. Insurances are behind, laws are behind, Medicare, Medicaid is behind, and it's so frustrating because I see how it can help people, but we're not there yet. So if we can bring it down to the local community and find out what's out there to help people, then we're doing what we can. So Senior Care Connections, we're all about relationship. We're about trust and guidance. So that population, they're worried about scams. They are worried that somebody's going to take advantage of them. And even if they're starting on into dementia, that is one of the signs that they see people trying to take advantage of them. They'll even blame or accuse their loved ones of taking money. Do not get into the senior industry if your primary goal is money, because it takes time. Because of the relationship, I sit down with people and talk with them for a couple hours sometimes if that's what they need. A lot of people self-isolate, and they don't want to go out there, or they don't drive and they don't want to burden their friends, or just health reasons. They can't get out there and be with community. And being with community is so important to keep your mind moving and to keep your mind going.
And Bonnie, not to interrupt you, but like to your point, last week, Kate Smith, who's part of your group, asked me to go speak at the Seton Center down in Brookline.
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing bingo. They play bingo twice a week. And I was there 15 minutes early. Hearing them play bingo in that room was so satisfying. There were no electronics. And when somebody would call bingo, you'd hear the whole room groan. They would be like, oh, right? And then they would cheer for whoever hit bingo. And you walk in there just around, and then they were eating lunch together. Like they were being served like we did in elementary school. They're all sitting around tables and they're eating together and they're talking and they're having fun. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome. And then she shared with me that they have the seniors and they bring in like the elementary school kids or like the preschool kids, and they get together. And she's like, you would just see these seniors light up. I'm like, what a genius idea. And to the point of what you just said earlier about isolating, like this is seeing that, because I know seniors that isolate and it looks like they're just withering away. And I want them to get plugged into these resources that you have out there.
Right. And there's the senior centers out there, there's church groups out there, there's ways that we can help them get transportation to them. Kate at Elizabeth Seton Center we were talking about how to get a woman from Brookline to come to her place. The woman does have some dementia, but they're going out of their way to help, to try to figure out a way that's safe for her to get her there, because
Yep.
she isolates. She's by herself during the day. Her son works. So a little bit, I have forgotten to talk about this, but a little bit about why I got into working with seniors. In 2019, in December, I think I had COVID before COVID was known. I was never so sick in my life. And I just felt God calling me to work with seniors. I had two grandmas. One of them aged in her house. We had lots of family who at the end could take care of her 24 hours a day. My uncle built her a bathroom and a bedroom in her dining room, and we had to put baby gates on her stairs so she wouldn't use them. And that was her wish, and that was her dream, and that's what we were able to do. And my other grandma, my dad was an only child, and she started with dementia, and she started using the ambulance as the taxi cab and the ER as her doctor's office, and started calling him like 80 times a day. This was like late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of things have changed since then. But I watched my dad go through the stress on what to do with her, because he lives on a farm. She is not a country girl. So I watched both sides, and I knew that as a real estate agent, I wanted to work with seniors in a concierge type style to make sure that they're taken care of. And in 2023, I decided God's going to take care of me. I'm just going to meet as many people as possible who are in the senior realm. And that's when Stephanie Boris, an elder law attorney, and I decided to start Senior Care Connections, because we had all of these people who did not know each other. And the way to take care of this population is to work together and to help people together. And it's been amazing seeing it happen and seeing the relationships and the partnerships that are going on to take care of the senior. So Senior Care Connections, wait, did I miss a screen? I did, I missed a screen. Our mission statement is Senior Care Connections is a dedicated group of diverse professionals committed to serving the maturing community through compassion, advocacy, personalized attention, and expert guidance. As a complementary referral service, our mission is to provide assistance and direction to seniors and their loved ones. So every company that is a part of the group, Stephanie or I sit down and meet with them. And no Zoom meetings, no phone calls. It's a personal meeting, because that's what seniors are looking for. They want the relationship. They don't want the technology, or even if they know how to use the technology. So we sit down with everybody. We find out their heart. It's not about making money. It's about serving and helping and going above and beyond, and compassion and loving and listening and hearing. And those are the people who are invited to the group. We have made decisions to not have people a part of the group because they're not trustworthy on getting there on time. I had one who I loved the staff and the people who worked there, but the owner was all about money, and it was very angering. So they're not allowed to come anymore.
But Bonnie,
yes.
Bonnie, to your point, like I love that that's where you're filtering, because oftentimes I know for me, like I'm a people, I'm gonna say this, I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I've always wanted to please absolutely everybody. And I've realized I don't need to work with everyone. Not everyone's a good fit, and you got to make sure that they fit. I would not have been a good fit for you 15 years ago. Like I literally sat with a senior. I showed up at her house at 5 o'clock to talk about a reverse mortgage. I didn't leave till 11 o'clock at night. She gave me dinner. She gave me chocolate chip cookies. She gave me milk. She showed me every picture in the house. And at the end, I go, "Hey, are you going to sign these documents?" She goes, "Oh, honey, I'm not signing anything without my attorney present." And I'm like, I could have done 10 forward mortgages in the time that I was there. I'm out. I'm not doing this because my focus was about making money and like being able to pay my bills
Mhm.
more than it was serving anybody. My heart has shifted now, obviously. Like where I'm at now, like the seniors I've been sitting with, the one house, they just had a wall phone and no
Mhm.
cell service in their
Mhm.
house. And to me, I'm like, this is like a dream. Like this would be a perfect thing. Like, just to sit. And I sat there with them for 2 hours at a clip,
Yeah.
just in like hearing their heart and like trying to help them above and beyond the reverse mortgage.
Mhm.
So I love that that's the filter that you're bringing people into the group. So in the group, do you have any like success stories of how we've helped the senior with somebody's services in the room? Like I know you've got people in the room with um, wheelchair accessibility, like mobility accessibility. Do we have any success stories like that of somebody that we've helped? And it doesn't have to be that, but like anybody that's on this call that's in Bonnie's group as well, if there's a success story that you have that Bonnie's talking about.
I have one.
Yeah.
A physical therapist. She specifically does therapy, physical OT and speech therapy for those with brain injuries and spinal cord injuries, goes to their home. She called me because as a real estate agent, because one of her clients needed help. And I pulled in a handyman, and I pulled in a senior moving specialist who was able to move them. They had already decided their community. Um, so the moving specialist was able to move them, clean out their house, and auction off items that were of value. And then I pulled in a cleaning company to clean the house, and then we put it on the market. And my initial meeting with them, I did all my homework like I'm supposed to do. And I sat down and she goes, "I'm not talking about the house." I'm like, "That's fine." And we just talked about what's going on and what their life was like. And we set up a plan. So it wasn't about pushing her to sell the house. It was about making a plan so she had that and felt comfortable with it. And there are people that I talked to I had one I was talking to probably about 5 years before she decided to sell, just making a plan and figuring out what's going on. Once again, it's about being proactive.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I've seen partnerships with a financial planner and Medicare specialist. I've seen partnerships with Seton Center and a chef that comes to your home. But another one that I have with veterans. I worked with a senior advocate who helps people. They will go with people to go to different communities to see which community fits their wants, their needs, their desires, and their finances. And I was able to work with him because the senior had a veterans disability, and veterans was helping him with the assisted living place. And I had to keep what he made off of the house under a certain amount so he could continue with those benefits. So,
Wow.
and that's the benefit about working with people that I know and that I am able to refer to them, because we work together to benefit the
Right.
senior.
Right. That's
Does
so good.
anybody else who is
Yeah.
part of Senior Care Connections have a story about how we work together to help people?
Jump in, Bonnie. I'm Heather Wagner. I own Senior Care Solutions Consulting. Happy to give some information later. But Stephanie Boris and I do mutual consultations together to help families look at not only the care side, which is often the precursor to coming in for an attorney meeting, but also to look at the legal and financial side. And we have tapped into many of the senior care connections folks to bring it all together to help the family, like where are they going for care, what can we do in the interim until we make that final decision, what do we need to do financially and legally. And we've been doing that for about a year and a half now, and we've helped several dozen families pull it all together and just give some stress relief from everything, especially when the kids are living out of town and they come in and they see so much of what's happening on the daily that they were just unaware of. You know, families say, oh, don't worry about me, I'm fine. And they come in and the home is in disarray, you know, dementia has increased, you know, just an ad nauseum list of things that aren't being attended to. So we have tapped into many of our connection group members to make it all come together.
And Heather, to your point, like when I sat with a senior that I knew as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like that, I'm talking, that's 42 years ago when I saw this man, right? And I go into his house now and I'm like, this is not the same guy,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you're like blown away. What's the impact that would have happened if they did not get with you? Like financially, what does that happen?
So any number of things could happen,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest concern is that when folks are going particularly into nursing homes, the folks in the business office, they're wonderful. They're doing their job the best they can. But as a business of providing care, they have to make sure that they are fiscally sound. So they don't necessarily understand all of the rules that Medicaid allows for. And they're telling families, well, you know, this is the maximum amount of assets that you're allowed to have. So sell your house, spend your money, and you know, when it's all gone, we'll help you apply for Medicaid. And that is so untrue. There are so many more productive things that can happen with someone's resources, their home, and still allow them to get Medicaid rather quickly. But you have to do it the right way. You have to follow the regulations that Medicaid puts out. We can be doing some gifting. People think you're not allowed to
Yep.
gift. You are,
Yep.
but it has to be taken into account. We could be doing prepaid funeral plans. They can buy themselves things that they've been holding off on. So that you have to be able to tap into the people that know those rules. And unfortunately, walking into some of these business offices, they just don't. And they admit that they're too busy to be able to understand what all is allowed. But the really good ones will say to the families, listen, go see an attorney and come back to us after
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And save them tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Right.
especially when there is a spouse involved. There is so much more that can be done when there is a spouse. We want to protect that one who's going to remain in the community.
Right. And Christine Brookins, not to put you on the spot, but you're always dropping gold when you talk. Do you have anything to add to this?
Thanks for saying that, Jeff.
Yeah.
What I really think is the beauty of the Senior Care Connections group is that whenever we come across any situation, you just drop it out to the group and say, this is what my client is experiencing. Who can help? What is out there? And I might not even be searching for a particular resource, but somebody else is connected to something that can really help anyone. And I'm huge on connecting people to resources, whatever that is, whether it's government benefits, community resources, the realtor to sell their home, whatever that is, just being part of this group has been so amazing. And Bonnie, you mentioned Kelsey and Neuro Access Rehab. I've referred so many folks over there because she does provide such a specialized service that it is unlike other therapists in the area, that she can do that PT, OT, speech, mental health, you know, the amazing things that we hear in the group that just give me the ideas. Okay, wait a minute, you need to talk to Jeff, or maybe Chuck O'Neill at Executor Services
Yeah.
can help you to be the agent on your power of attorney if you don't have anyone. Because I will tell you, as a financial advisor, I hate hearing well, I guess I'll use my stepsister because I don't have anyone else. That's not how you choose the person that's going to make decisions about your life and your finances. So having
Right.
this group and the resources available are just so tremendous that I don't need to know everything. I don't, I just need to know who to go to. And the Senior Care Connections group has been that resource so many times that I just tell people, hey, I'm part of this group. I know some folks, let me ask around. And there are always responses. I feel like I'm queen of the world when I get 40 emails back with great ideas
Yeah.
because I could go out to the group.
Yeah. It's such a powerful resource. The power is always in the room, right? It's never the individual. Yep.
And
So,
and
so true.
and furthermore, we have been able to help people across the United States because of connections that we have. There are franchises in the group. I'm a Keller Williams real estate planner, so I know planners all over the country. And we've been able to give resources, or at least a person to call in that area, so they can get the resources that they need for their loved ones.
Yep.
And Bonnie, if I could
Anybody else?
add to that,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we have helped each other, with our own families. So the trust is there that we're trusting who we're working with. I can't tell you how many people in the group I've spoken to that said, it's my dad, it's my grandparent, it's my neighbor. So it's not just putting on a good show and putting it out there for the public. We're helping each other.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And
Um,
go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, anybody else from the Senior Care Connections want to say anything, either Jeff or Brian? I see you guys on here.
And real quick, just to add, this group is wonderful to have. Like Christine mentioned, that there's always a referral source, but that it's a trusted referral source. Because unfortunately, when you're dealing with the senior population, it's a breeding ground for people who don't have good morals to take advantage for a
Right.
financial gain.
Right.
And, you know, and even whether it's someone with bad intentions giving them advice for their own gain, or whether it's just them getting advice from family members, friends, neighbors who don't really know what they're talking about. It's great to have trusted resources that we know are vetted and they're going to take care of the people we're trying to help.
It's so good.
I don't have anything to add, so I'm not going to waste any time. I just want to say that I strongly endorse the group, and I think that it is very valuable in as much as it is people that have been vetted and people that are trustworthy, and they're going to be prompt, which is very important, and they're going to do the right thing given the specific situation. And that's the kind of stuff that you really have to seek out when you're looking to an underrepresented segment like seniors, and a group that needs many, many more advocates throughout the country.
Yeah.
So this is something I truly endorse and will be in for the long run. And it was refreshing to hear Bonnie mention that, it didn't work out for one group because their motives, while they're not malintended, they're just not in alignment with the group, and that's important. It's good when you're playing a hand of cards to be able to discard and pick up something that may help you out just a little bit better and align with the hand that you're trying to get.
Yep. Yep. Bonnie, anything, I know we're a little bit over time, but like anything else you want to add, or you want to make sure that everybody knows here?
Just wanted to talk about some interesting things that we have run across. There are wound care specialists who come to your house and help with wounds. And then, if need be, they do outpatient surgery to heal a wound with a disinfected placenta. There are transportation to doctor's offices, and they will stay with the procedures. There's geriatric care management, where they will walk with you through every segment of the care that you need and fight for you. There's a local nonprofit that helps seniors with technology in their homes. There are dementia specialists that come to your home. There's in-home care, local handyman company who does, they actually have a monthly subscription to go out to your loved one's home
Yep.
to do whatever they need. And I know somebody who has, they give that to their mother every year for Christmas.
I did that last year.
That's you I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
There's a place for your animal if you have nobody to take them and you pass. We talked about executrix or executor with Chuck O'Neill, who they can be the appointed executor, executrix, or POA, power of attorney for health or financial benefits. There is so much out there that is local that you will not see on Google because they don't have the money to do the SEO.
Yep.
And whenever a lot of people, whenever an event happens where something health, something financial, they go online to look for the help that they need. And there are predatory companies out there, and I have run into them. And I do not flip out at people, but I have flipped out the past couple months over that. But Senior Care Connections, anybody can call. It is a free referral service for individuals and their loved ones to help navigate the future.
Yep. So the bottom line is if you have anybody, any senior that needs something, it doesn't matter what it is, just reach out, right? Reach out to Bonnie, reach out to me, whatever, and then we'll get them connected to a trusted person that can help.
And every situation is so different, and I'm constantly running into something I've never heard of before. But I have the resources now that I can ask how to help.
Trusted resources, like Brian
Trusted
said.
resources.
Yep.
If I can just jump in real quickly, Jeff.
Yeah.
That word trust is what we're hearing from everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't say it out loud, but that is when we walk into that room to meet, I know that what we say in that room is being heard by people that are trusted with information. And I know that when I'm seeking a partner, anyone in that room is someone that I can rely upon. And I will say another success story. I met Tom Janicki with MetaTrust through our group, and I've been licensed to do that kind of insurance for years and never did it. And because of meeting Tom and knowing the energy and feeling that trust and seeing how he cares for his clients, I now partnered with him and I'm able to offer that to my clients who weren't talking to anybody. So just being part of this and knowing that that trust is a two-way street is helping the seniors that need the help.
That's so good. Yep. That's so good. And that's, like I said, that's the mission I know I'm on. It's a new mission for me. For a while, I was like, I need to help the young kids because I was hearing the young kids say, what happened was I started doing these videos. TikTok and Instagram are brutal. Facebook is the nicest place to be because everyone's your friends and they love you. But on YouTube, the kid said, man, nothing worse than these old heads lecturing us on the economy they destroyed. And I was like, what? And then I talked to the younger generation and they are up against it. Like they've been told they can't make it. They've been told they can't have a success. The American dream's dead. And so for me, I was on a mission to like, let them know it is possible. You can do this. And I've told Bonnie, I probably had meetings with over 100 high school and college kids, and they're buying insurance policies. They're investing their money. They're buying multi-unit properties. They're cash flowing. They're doing the right things. So that was my mission for probably the past 5 years. But then recently sitting with seniors and looking at them breaks my heart because they have options and they have resources and, you know, they don't know they're available. So I'm like, okay, I got another mission to serve. Like I got to get out and let our seniors know that there's resources for them to live their golden years better. And so that's the move I'm on. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come here this morning. Again, Paula will drop in the chat to sign up for the live AI course that we're having on February 27th in South Point. Again, we were only supposed to have 30 seats. We have 65 people signed up. So I'm going to have to get a bigger spot. Reserve your seat soon. Share it with whoever you think wants to join it as well. For real estate, it's for every profession. She applies it to anything and everything. But for the realtors in the room, AI's here. As much as I don't want it, and as much as I want to throw my phone in the creek and just grow a beard and move into the woods and own a rotary phone, you can't deny it. We need it for our business. But you're going to walk out that day knowing how to use it, and hopefully having an AI agent that can help you do more business and serve more people more efficiently, so you can spend more time with your family and doing the things that serve you better. So with that said, have a great day. If you guys need anything, please reach out to us.